there are so many tentacles in the betting market of what might happen with Shohei. Because if you look at some teams and the prospects of where you think Shohei might go, right now he's still the odds-on favorite to stay in Anaheim because we know that Artie Moreno, the owner, has kind of been on record saying, I don't want to be the owner that trades away Babe Ruth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, look, none of us were around for the Babe's days. So when you hear people say Shohei's better than the Babe, you don't really know that. I mean, yeah, he looks better than the Babe. We understand that physically.
He's certainly better conditioned than the Babe.
He's in better shape than the Babe was.
He is better than the Babe. You want to know why he's better than Babe Ruth?
Why?
Somebody tweeted this out the other day, and it caught my ire a little bit. It was, are we at a point where we're ready to declare Shohei Ohtani better than Babe Ruth? 2 years ago, we were ready to declare Shohei Ohtani better than Babe Ruth. I realize the career numbers, be it as a pitcher or as a hitter, are not there yet, and he's got a long, long way to go to catch Babe Ruth. But Babe didn't do it at the same time. No. Not like this. Nothing like this. And you're going to tell me, and look, it's all eras are relative only to themselves. It's hard to compare eras. So it's easy for us to say who, like you said, weren't around to watch that, Babe Ruth in his day and what the competition was like. It's easy to say Babe wasn't facing people the way, like Shohei's facing who are, just physically and genetically gifted and primed to excel at the level they do as professional athletes or just in a class of their own, no matter the sport. That being said, again, I can't help but go back to Shohei's doing this at once. He's chasing a home run record and striking out guys left and right, pitching 100 miles an hour, winning games, and can do it all right now. Like Babe that wasn't asked of him, or he declined. I have no idea. I didn't see it, but he did. Point is, he didn't do it. And what Shohei is doing, we will never see again. I mean, this is unbelievable.
I'm with you.
I don't see the Angels moving him. I really don't. I think they're going to hold out hope that they can re-sign him.
And that's why he's the betting favorite at 170 after August 1st to still be a member of the Anaheim Angels. The Dodgers are the second betting favorite here at 8-1. These are longer shots, right? 8-1 for LA, 9-1 for the Bay. And it's interesting because we've kind of heard through the tea leaves that Shohei wants to stay in the West Coast. So that's why the three favorites are the one where he's already there.
He likes beaches.
Who doesn't, right? So yeah. Shohei, he's one of us in that regard. To go to Atlanta would just be unfair. Don't make that happen, please. 11-1. But the Bronx Bombers, they're always going to be in this mix, you would believe, at 14-1. Then the O's. Now, the O's at 15-1. And then my Metropolitans at 18-1. The O's have a rental feel to them. And I look at you and Stephanie's Sox at 25-1. And I said this a couple months ago on this show, that there was a possibility that the Red Sox or I didn't mention the Orioles, but that those teams could be, I don't think they're in the market to get Shohei long-term, the $600 million we've heard floated around for whatever the next contract looks like, but maybe short-term. To you, Adam.
You don't do it. You don't do it.
Don't do it.
You don't do it. You don't even pursue it. The only organization, whoever it is, whichever phantom organization X, where it makes sense to acquire Shohei Ohtani, a rental for what would be a massive, possibly unprecedented haul of prospects, of players, whatever. Like you said, local to me, the Red Sox. You're talking about Brian Bayo and a top prospect in Marcelo Meyer. You don't do these moves unless you believe you have got a strong chance. I know there are no guarantees, but you have to believe you have to be willing to go to the money, like you said, $500-600 million, but also have to believe that he is going to be interested in staying with you. If you do not have, you're not going to get assurances, but if you do not have at least the belief, I keep saying the same word, but you have to have at least the mindset that it is a strong possibility that he is going to re-up with you. Otherwise, it's just not worth it for one run, where in baseball, anything can happen. It's not like the NBA, where more often than not, talent wins out. Anything can happen in baseball. You're the Red Sox. You go to the wild card round. Your pitcher's bad that day. It's not Shohei. It's somebody else. He hits 3 bombs and you still lose. You're out. Like who? I mean, it doesn't even make sense. And the Orioles, they've never handed out money like that to anybody. They're going to start now?
No, I'm with you. It feels long shotty at best. That's why the numbers are associated with it. And then for the Dodgers backers out there, they go, well, why would we kind of pillage our farm system when we could get him in a couple months? And the Dodgers are still players right now to win the World Series without Shohei Ohtani, right? And the Giants are the interesting one because they feel like if they're really going to make a push this year, Shohei certainly would be a guy. Yeah, well, look, he's going to help any team. He's the best player in baseball. We understand that. But the Dodgers realistically could say, hey, we could wait, take our chances this year without him, maybe still win it without him, and then get Shohei Ohtani and not give up the prospects. Do you think those teams are having those internal conversations?
I think you have to have any and all conversations when it relates to a guy like Shohei Ohtani, but you have to start to think about next steps. Like if you're the Dodgers, are you better served to improve your pitching and go after a Max Scherzer, who's another guy, obviously, who could be on the move from your beloved Mets, because at least, he's got a contract next year. And this is, that's a team that's not afraid to pay guys, large amounts of money. There's no salary cap in baseball, but still, being on the hook for Scherzer's $44-45 million next year is a hell of a lot different than deciding we're about to pay a guy $600 million when they have given out huge contracts in recent years to, Mookie Betts and others, a handful of guys they've given big paydays to. And at some point in time, when the only World Series you're winning is during the pandemic year is, that dries up a little bit. I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to see what happens with Shohei. The Yankees wouldn't surprise me, in the long run in free agency. I don't think he moves at the trade deadline.
If I were to take a flyer, the only way I could go would be the Giants at 9-1. And the reason why I say that is they've tried to spend money. Carlos Correa, Aaron Judge, had him for a day, right? So they've tried to give those back up the Brinks truck. And I think that it would make sense for them now to make this aggressive move and say, Shohei, not only do we want you here for the short term, and we got a good enough team to compete right now, you stay in the West Coast, and we'll back it up for you next year, buddy. And now you're a member of the Giants for the long term. Maybe if they missed out on Judge and Correa, it all goes to Shohei. Only time will tell.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.